we hope to gain fruitful insights today. We are honored to have the program leader and event advisor, Ms. Lim CC, our guest speaker, Mr. Vincent Chong, main and branch campuses lecturers, and all students. Thank you for joining us today in the sharing session of the e-forum on PR and new media, the effectiveness of two-way communication during COVID-19 pandemic in digital marketing. With pleasure, allow me to introduce our speaker for today. Mr. Vincent Chong is currently a founder and vice president of Rakan Asia Innovation Sudan Bahar. Besides, he is also a CEC certified e-commerce consultant. With the niche expertise and experience Mr. Vincent acquires in the field of communication, we believe this will bring a great abundance of knowledge today. 2020 has been tough for all of us. We've been battling COVID-19 together for a year now. COVID-19 has created a climate of fear, isolation, and uncertainty across the world. Changing the channels of communication in daily life has triggered us with a major concern, that is how to do business adapt, improvise, and even sustain. As we continue to embrace the new normal in our society, some trends are taking shape even faster than we expected. One of them is the shift of digital marketing that has changed tremendously in terms of landscape and opportunities. With that, let us welcome Mr. Vincent to share his knowledge about digital marketing. Mr. Vincent, the floor is yours.
Hi, good morning, everybody. Thank you, the committee and lecturer for inviting me to give a speech on the topic on the PR and media, on the two-way channel communications, in digital marketing. Okay, let me share my presentation to you. Okay, this is my profile, the vice president and the founder of Rakan Asia. Okay, and I've been invited as a panel speaker for numbers of conference in around the world, in China, Bangkok, Thailand, and Malaysia, and Russia as well. And also I'm one of the selected successful entrepreneurs for Alipay and Alibaba program in China. And also guest speaker for some university like UST Malaya, Southern UST Johor. I've spoken in Utah before, and Vijaya University. And also I do a lot of achievement, for the past few years, in obtaining MAC status, for e-commerce startup, achieve 1.5 million sales per month, and also been awarded some consulting services. Okay. So today's topic is talk about PR and new media, the effectiveness of two-way communication in digital marketing. So this is during the COVID-19 pandemic. As you all know, this almost 2 years period, everyone is struggling, and unfortunately, some are facing fatal death, because of the virus, and that's why this is after pandemic that we have to foresee, and we have to embrace it, and everyone have to be tough, and to see this kind of situation. So before I move on to the next slide, I'm sure the attendees, know what is digital marketing. So can anyone tell me what is digital marketing? Can anyone just type in the chat and know what is digital marketing? In your perspective, do you know in your version, what is digital marketing? Is it internet or is it Facebook? Anyone can tell me, what is digital marketing? So let me go to the first slide on the what is digital marketing. So we have here the internet, the Google, the search engine, the live stream and the mobile devices. There's a lot of things, social media especially, So the terms of digital marketing is the use of internet to reach and attract customers via email, social media, content marketing, search platform. So this is how they define, So there are a lot of people, things otherwise. What is digital marketing? They thought that digital marketing just do Facebook is good enough. No, there are many ways and methods, that digital marketing can be defined. The second one is they will talk about what is PR and new media. Okay, new media. The terms of new media means, digital. Using technology. That's what they call new media. PR, of course, public relations, is the practice which control internally, to manage and disseminating information from a company or individual to the public in order to affect their public perception through traditional and digital means. Anything is internally, then we call PR. Once the information that you relay out to the public, you cannot control, that is not PR anymore. Once you send the message, you announce something else, to the public. Okay, so once it's appear in the public that you're out of your control, then it's not public relation anymore. That is beyond your control. So if you send the wrong message, and people react to you in a negative way, that is out of control already. So that's why internally you have to do your homework in an effective way before you announce something or before you want to speak something to the public. Okay, two-way communications in digital marketing. Here we have shown you what is a two-way communication: the brand owner and the consumer or public. This is how we define a two-way communications. Whatever you send the message is, it will reflect back, from the brand or the owner who sent out the message, the communication, whatever communication or message that you send out, it will have a reflect to the consumer or public, and it will, if the negative is good or bad, it still rebounds back to the brand or the owner. So this is very important, before anything, need to communicate, in terms of what you need to say, or what you need to announce, or what you need to update. And the PR and the new media, it works along each other. That's why whatever information in the PR, that relate to your new media, it must be consistent. You cannot, in PR you say different thing, in the new media you say different thing, so it will be a conflict. Then people will think that there's something wrong, the information is not giving right information. Like for example, one minister will say one thing, second minister will say different thing, so it's inconsistent. So you will affect the public confidence. So this is what I mean, that PR and the new media message or the communication must be same and precise. The communication information in digital marketing. See, before you want to start to have this kind of communication, what you need to do first? So you talk of advertising. What thing are you going to advertise? So what are the things that you need to prepare first before you really go to? And what are the key communications? So you can see here, if you are the brand, I'm talking more focused on the brand, that you want to sell something, or you want to promote something, or you want to promote UTA or TRUC, So this, before you really go to the channel, internet channel or media, so you need to plan, to see what are the information you need to prepare first. And once you release that advertisement, it will go to the internet, it will go to the media, it will go to social media, and you cannot stop it. Okay? Any information that leak out, that you release out, you cannot stop it. You can delete the information, but you cannot stop it. That's why in this mode, COVID-19, you can see a lot of fake news. People are declaring, spreading the wrong news about COVID-19, about the vaccine. So once this thing is out, the owner, the one who posts the information only can delete, or the administrator of the platform, the social media platform, only can delete the information or hide the information. If you post in Facebook, only Facebook can remove your posting, or the other way is either the one who posts it, you can remove. So these are the information we see recently. You can see during the last 18 months of COVID-19 pandemic in Malaysia, you can see a lot of fake news. People are creating fear, about the vaccine, about the lockdown, about some even commit suicide, about the stress, the pressure. So this kind of information, you can see some even use this media, this internet and the media, to commit suicide, through the Facebook. This is very scary, and it will affect people who watch it in public. So the key of communication that you need to do in digital marketing is, who are your target audience? First thing you must think, who is your target audience, and what is your objective? Okay, you have to think what's the objective. Then your information, is it consistent or not? Is it accuracy or not? And is it precise? If not, the impact to you is very big. If you give the wrong information, the impact will be very severe, and if you got wrong information. And the next one, we talk about why communication vital in digital marketing. First, you talk about damages. Okay, and if you give the wrong message, the damages is very big. In terms of the reputation, in terms of your money, in terms of yourself. If you are the one, you damage your job, your career. If the wrong information is communicated out through digital marketing, or you post wrong thing in the Facebook, that is also impact to you. So the reputation of the company or the brand will be affected very much. And the cost incurred is very heavy. Okay, and the losses, that means like maybe people want to buy a product anymore, your drop of sales, and your branding will be affect you very much. So your brand may be no more brand already. People don't like your brand already, and can close down your brand already. So these are and the impact is very severe. So this is the thing that you have to foresee first. Don't think of getting big sales first. In digital marketing, the communication way before you do it, you have to think this kind of area first before you think of getting more sales, getting more traffic. Yeah, because this will destroy your positive objective. Okay. There are various communication in digital marketing. Yeah, you can see there are various. Once the information is go out, you can see the two-way traffic. And two-way communication, whether it's through your SEO, whether through your website you put, whether through your content that you want to info, and the service that you want to provide. And during COVID-19, you see everyone work from home. So how are the staff going to communicate with the client, the customers? So the service is very important. You don't answer the call, you don't reply email. These are two-way communications. So if you tell the public that you are open, but there are clearly people to buy a product, especially you sell online, when you have messenger like for example like Shopee, Lazada, you have a chat box. Okay, so if you ask question there and no reply, and that is a very poor two-way communication. There's a time period for you to reply. So that's why various kind of communication in digital marketing is very important, no matter which channel that you're going to use. And the most important one is the viral. The viral will be, it can be positive, it can be negative. If a bad thing you viral out, it can put, if it's a bad thing, it can put you, a person, into a jail, or charged in court, But it's a good one, then you bring a lot of sales. But bring a lot of sales also, one thing you have to foresee, like I give you an example, like Alibaba 11/11 campaign, and the sales was, overwhelmed, and at the end it was too great until they take 3 months to deliver the order. Just imagine, that is the positive side where you need to tackle the customers. You need to be ready, you need to ready whether the customer buy things, and if you put the stock there, it's still long way to do. You will think the product might be stored in the warehouse too long, then it could cause a lot of damages. So you must see a lot of communications where is how you relate that kind of communications, through the website, through the SEO, especially the viral message. When you tell a customer, oh, I have this such a promotion campaign, that customer will viral your campaign. What happens if your campaign there's some error inside it? You say that maybe you get a rebate about 30% money or something like that, but there is a mistake there. That's why communication error, and you need to rectify the accuracy of the information before you send out the message through the communication. So viral is one of the most dangerous one, but you have to be very consistent and check very clearly before you send out, so that people do not viral wrong your information. Okay, what are the communication in digital marketing channel? So these are the channels that people are using during COVID-19. Okay, to communicate how, some even use the channel to talk to each other. They open Google Meet or even Zoom meeting, just to look at each other, 10, 20 of them in the channel to chit chat. COVID-19 is the way. Even some, they have to communicate to digital marketing through Zoom or Google Meet just to talk. Why they need to talk? Because to loosen up the stress, pressure. Because some people still stuck at home, lockdown. As you know that, stay home, stay safe. But sometimes people don't realize, understand, those people are facing stay home, stay safe, but they are alone. So those people who are alone, they are the most facing most severe situation. They cannot take the stress or pressure until they can commit suicide. Or some even you can see some situation during the COVID-19. Some even the parents, argue until become fight, become murder. See, this kind of situation. So digital marketing, is where you do more on promotion and campaign. But during COVID-19, a lot of people use digital way, to communicate. It's good, but also you must use digital way to help one another, to disseminate the right information or to talk to someone. Because during COVID-19, doing promotion is very tremendous good. I can tell you this, because people want to shop online. People cannot go out. Some people can go out. They don't want to go out because they're scared. You can see the COVID-19, the virus become more mutated until you come to become the latest stage was the Delta. Delta was the most mutated COVID-19 virus, so it's more severe. So people some people don't even want to go out to buy. They even want to do shopping online. So these are the situation that we have to see and how. Okay, for example, for special campaign, you can see is KOL. They're very popular in China and also in Hong Kong and Taiwan. KOL way is, it depends who is the lead. Who is the lead. You cannot get a normal person sit down there and do KOL. That is not KOL already. That if you get a normal person, that call live stream. Malaysia are enjoying doing that. The workers. So KOL must be someone who are attractive. Someone must be a leader who can lead the public. Famous, someone famous. So when she talk or when he talk, people will buy within seconds. They don't see the product. They don't even see a description. When the person just say, 好，这个好，这个好. Oh, everyone will buy. You know, they don't see whether the product, you know, cheap or not or expensive. They don't care. You know, they'll buy. You know, I've been watching China KOL and Taiwan KOL. You know, once the famous actress are so beautiful. You know, the guys see her beautiful only. You know, they buy already. You know, so this kind of reaction, the KOL is this kind of reaction. So they even demo KOL. They would demo the product. They take the product. You know, for example, lipstick, they use the lipstick, and they say, oh, you see, 很漂亮啊. Wow, they say like that, everyone buy, then you can see the sales just shoot up like rocket, you know. So whether they regret or buying also another story, but KOL really making millions of sales. Okay. So the next one, you talk about live stream. Live stream is different. Live stream is something like that is what Malaysia is doing, because a lot of companies have to close down. You know, a lot of companies are not allowed to operate. So what they do, so they do inside the office, inside the warehouse, do live stream. Some even no choice, they send the product to the staff house. Call the staff, you do the live stream in your house. To that extent, So live stream is a one way also can bring sales during COVID-19, and live stream have been very heavily tremendous increase during the COVID-19. Okay, then TikTok, and of course TikTok, they got good and bad. You don't send the wrong message, don't record the wrong video, to give a wrong impression of your product. If not, people will think that hey, what you are trying to promote. So you can see that even TikTok are taking over Facebook in Indonesia. So it depends on which country they are more popular using. Like Malaysia, people always still using Facebook, Instagram, that kind of thing. But China, they're still using, WeChat, Weibo, Baidu, that kind of thing. So it's very, very different country, different kind of impact. And of course, event campaign is one of the most impactful. You see, like Alibaba sales, they hit billions of ringgit. And even the last year, they also hit billion ringgit, because they have the demand. The demand must be there. If you want to sell a product to digital marketing, the demand is not there, it won't work. You must know your product, whether the demand is there or not. Okay. This is all I want to share with you. This is the latest data, the social media. When you do digital marketing, you have to look at the social media that used around the world. The result came out on July 2021 recently. Just 1.5 months. You can see people using social media is really up to 4.48 billion people around the world. Okay, and people exchange of number, it increase of 13%. And people are using spend the time 2 hours 24 minutes. You just can just imagine, social media percentage of global penetration have gone up to 56.80%, in the world. So these are all the impact of social media during a COVID-19, because people at home, they don't know what to do. Even husband and wife also don't know what to do, so they only have the social media to make them to chit chat with somebody, okay? Because you see, before the COVID-19, the husband and wife not always together one, because why? The husband early morning go to work, the wife also go to work, or some husband go to work, the wife at home in the house. So suddenly COVID-19 come, then the husband and wife first time, right? Every day at home, look at each other. So they don't know what are the things that wife face, that kind of thing. So the wife said, I want to buy this thing. Then because of digital marketing also, the wife want to buy, the husband don't agree. There's an argument. So during COVID-19, it's not everything is good. There are good and bad. So when there's a crisis, there's always opportunity. Okay. And the next one, you can see the media channel used for news. People want to know, how many news that we've gone through, what kind of media channel. You see the pre-media, is still only 24%, still very 24%. And you can see the online media, is number one, 82%. Just imagine, how wide is the digital marketing channel can impact to you. And of course, television, it depends on which country, and overall you can see that it still have 64%. Some people still, go to the conventional way to look for news. And the social media chat is still people have using messenger. You message me, I message you. Still the channel is still there, and the impact is still, high. Okay, the next year is the global digital growth. So because of the digital marketing, okay, and you have this growth of people who access this digital growth, that total about additional 1%, that's come to 81 million, additional 81 million people. Okay, then the mobile user, so during the last, you talk about the last 6 months, additional 93 million people. Talk about additional, if before the pandemic you don't have this kind of high figure, you only have maybe 1,000 or 1 million or 2 million, but you don't lose up to 93 million during the 6 months period. That's very high. And the internet user, just imagine the last 6 months this year, last 1 year, we have 360 million. 360 million, additional, during the pandemic. So this shows that, everyone have no choice. Leave no choice. If you do not know how to use Facebook, you have to start learning how to use it. You don't know how to install WhatsApp or TikTok, they have to start learning. This is the way of communications. They have to do it. And you talk about active social media user, you see, you got additional 13.2. There are 490 million, active user. Active user, that means almost, it's not almost every day they're using, chit chat, every 2 hours, 3 hours, they're still chit chat, without stop. I can tell you, even my staff working also, I cannot stop them, from reply their messages through the handphone. I cannot tell them, you come to the office, you put your handphone in the locker. I cannot tell them like that. So even working hours, the staff also use the handphone to communicate, non-stop. So these are the ways that, how things are moving on, and how we should put the situation, involved, that we have to think of the global growth, how we can see. Okay, the other one, the next one will be the COVID-19 period, the increase in online and digital activities. You can see here, those who are watching movies or film online streaming, they are live streaming, okay, they already have increase of 54% during the COVID-19. There's a lot of amount already, Then spending longer time using social media is 43% additional. So these are the things that are happening around the world. Spending longer on messenger services, 42%. Listening to music and streaming services is 37%. And this all result, it came out from for internet user between 16 years old to 64 years old. Okay, so you can see that how percentage higher additional activities have been done during the COVID-19. So there are some even create video, uploading video. In the worst, they are playing games until China government have to restrict their citizen from playing game, addict to the game, because it give a lot of profit to the gaming company, but it give a very bad impact to those who are game addict. So digital marketing, sometimes they are good and bad. Like gaming, they want to get more profit, so why they promote the game. Sometimes I receive WhatsApp or SMS, oh, why not you join this game? When you join, you get how many credit free, that really attract you. But, once you're addicted to the game, it's not easy for you to leave the game. You still very addicted. Okay. The next one is, here are the world most used social platform. Okay. Number one is Facebook. Yeah. This talk about the whole world. I'm talking about the whole world. Okay. The second is YouTube. Yeah. People want to show off their skills, how to cook, how to, So that's why that there's a case, whereby the husband and wife do a lot of cooking, become famous, and suddenly they argue. You see or not? Become a public netizen, become a debate on that issue. So that's why, what kind of communication that you have to foresee when you do digital marketing? Try to avoid this. Two-way communication. You have to do really carefully before you really execute. Whether it's internally or externally. And you see the third one.
Hi, Mr. Vincent.
Yes.
Sorry for interrupt you, but since you are presenting the slide about the world most used social media platform, may we know what is the preferred or most used platform by your company, and how do you utilize the two-way communication in the digital marketing? Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay. In what we use, in Malaysia we have been using Facebook. Okay. Using Facebook, and of course you need to set and define who is your target audience. Okay? You need to set who is your target audience, what age group that you want to target, and what product you want to. For example, when we started with the sanitizer, so we help a company in Johor, to help to sell the sanitizer, because during pandemic, a lot of people do not know use gel, or because gel is very sticky to the hand, so a lot of people not so comfortable with the gel. So we have find out this company having this sanitizer. Okay, so how we do the Facebook is we do target audience. Okay, and we always target which country we want to go through. Okay, and how to do communication is how we communicate through using, there are a few channels that we communicate with the customers. They are using WhatsApp, we're using Messenger, okay, and also that we using also email. So you can see a customer who always, when you post something up, the communication that come back to from when you post something to the Facebook, it will come back from this customer asking a lot of questions, and you have to handle them very tactfully. And these are the channel that when you handle that tactfully, humbly, and you're able to maintain that kind of two-way communication effectively, and that will bring more good reputation to you. That is very important. And of course, WhatsApp and the Messenger is one of the key communication in Facebook. In Malaysia, what we do is, these are the two-way communication that are the highly communicated between public and my clients as well. Okay. And of course, you can see this is what if you talk about China, our client deal with China is WeChat. And because we are not so well versed with Mandarin, and WeChat gives us a translation, a translation in terms of asking inquiry about a product, and that's how we communicate with other part of country. So if a customer come from China or Taiwan or Hong Kong, then we deal with WeChat. For Malaysia, it's still we maintain WhatsApp, Messenger, Facebook, communicate with our customers. Of course, so far the communication is very effective, because you must give the right information to what the customer inquire about. If you give a wrong information, that must be misunderstand, or miscommunicate what your message you try to give to them. So that the information must be accurate and precise. So this is the data that we collected, and we share to you, what is the how many female and male have been using Facebook, okay, during the pandemic. It totally increased, and the age who are using Facebook, for social media purpose, for buying, like your product posting, and inquire about your product. So the user, for this Facebook during the pandemic in the age. So this data help us to understand more, how our client, our consumer communicate with us. Is it good or bad, and how many are communicate to us at what age. So why this is important in digital marketing, because different age, we have to deal with them different way. Okay, we have to communicate with them in different way, because different age, two-way communication is very different. We have to base on the age group. If you're dealing with those who are 18 years old to 24, we cannot talk the same lingo or language to the people who are 45 to 54 years old. This is very important. If not, that you will create a lot of misunderstanding, a lot of dispute, and that will affect your two-way communication. Okay, that's the end of my slides. Do you have any questions?
All right, with that, thank you, Mr. Vincent, for the fruitful insights. I believe all of us have benefited from the sharing session we had just now. All right, so just to conclude, the main thing PR students learn about PR is to maintain effective two-way communication and a positive relationship between the company and the public. If things go public and out of control, that's the time a company may engage PR to manage and implementing crisis communication to manage their public perception. So nowadays in the digital era, PR students learn more than others think about events management. So students are also learning how to utilize new media to share meaningful information like this sharing session. All right, so now it is the time for the Q&A session. Feel free to turn your microphone on if you have any question to ask. You may also type out your question in the chat box. Is there any? All right, so we have our first question from Ms. Kang Ling. She asked, may I ask, what is the advice for the students who want to pursue in digital marketing?
Okay, those who want to pursue digital marketing, okay, you must be ready that a person who really wants to have analytical mind, who are creative, and if you are a person who like to go out, outdoor, then it's very difficult, because person who want to do digital marketing, is someone who want to think a lot. Okay, if you're not a thinker, then you cannot explore out more about your creativity. Digital marketing is all about creativity. How creative are you? And now you can see during the last 5 years ago, digital marketing is talk about Facebook. You talk about Twitter, everything. But now you got TikTok. Now you're KOL. It become more challenges and more things coming in. So you must able to adopt. So when the person want to pursue what kind of program or courses, don't think of, oh, my girlfriend, my boyfriend will want to study that, I also follow. Don't do that. You must think of yourself first, because you don't waste your time to study something that not relevant to your future. You must study something that relevant to your future. So doing digital marketing, is it's not an easy job. You have to use a lot of thinking. You have to do a lot of creative mindset. To think of how to attract people, consumer, to like your campaign, to like your posting. So you have to put yourself into their shoe. When to attract people, you have to put yourself into your shoe. So this the advice I would think that before you want to take up digital marketing programs.
All right, thank you. So the next question is from Miss Jingro. She asks, do you think this trend should continue even after the pandemic of COVID-19?
The new normal will be continue, and I can tell you that there's no 100% guarantee vaccine that will eliminate the virus, because the COVID-19 is mutated, and they mutated in terms of different countries have the different types of mutation. So we all have to depend on those scientists, doctors, to come out with better vaccines. But of course, this virus is much more dangerous than the SARS, that we have gone through before. And it's a new normal that you have to be part of our life. You have to embrace it as part of our life. So those, your brothers, sisters, your relative, especially young one, you have to start educating them. It's part of their normal. It's part of a new normal. We call new normal life. You have to be embrace it together until they have to fully find a vaccine that can 100%, to eliminate this kind of virus.
Great, thank you for the answer. The next question is from UZ. So he asks, is there any crisis or issue of particular matter that has happened before in digital marketing? Like, how did you overcome the problem?
You mean crisis or issue? You talk about internally or you talk about public? So I'll give you an example. If you talk about internally, talk about public. Okay, when you display some information, that happened. That I give you, for example, that we send out a contents. We send out contents of a campaign. Okay, and both staff who do not communicate well, and the contents was sent out, and they cause a lot of customer who WhatsApp you, who messenger you, and or email you to you. Why the issue out is wrong information. Why conflicting informations. So what we have to do is we have to really take down the information. We have to apologize for the inconvenience. Then we have to really do staff brainstorming again. And we have to really do some SOP. SOP not only apply to COVID-19. Company also have SOP to do. So to ensure that in future any information that posted up, whether it's a promotion campaign or information, they have to be vetted first. And have to be checked, verified before being released, because the impact of the consumer or the public is heavily reacted. So we have to be really careful, and we have to normally this thing happen, we have to do a apology, and also we have to do some reply to the those approach us. We'll compliment something to them for thank you for their feedback, thank you for their complaint, that kind of thing. You have to cool down, the public complaints, this kind of thing. That's how we do it.
Okay. We have another question here from Tiang King. So the question is, are there any differences in current digital marketing communication practice compared to times before the pandemic?
Of course, there are a bit of difference, okay, because before the pandemic, okay, before the pandemic, most people are working at office, not from home. Okay, so the difference is, and we have sometimes we have the internet not stable, because they work from home, and sometimes you see when you work office, we are talking to each other face to face, you get the message correct, precise. But when you work from home, sometimes you can't get the meaning accurate. Sometimes your communication barrier, two-way communication barrier, will be affected. I thought like that, but the person assumed you say like that. So it will have a breakdown communication. So work from home, have no choice, but when during the operations, during this communication happen, you have this breakdown, and some of them will become an argument. Why? Because they work from home, they also very stressed. I can tell you why they're stressed. Because they have to do something in the house. They have something to take care, maybe their brother, sister, or their old parents, who are grumbling. So every family situation is very different. So it doesn't mean work from home they have no problem, they have no stress. They do have, but the communication breakdown always happen, during the pandemic. So we have to find how to send a proper message. Like when you talk to the Zoom meeting or the Google, you also check, so to avoid any miscommunication. Sometimes I will misunderstand what you say, so I will type the message again to confirm. Do you understand what I said? Just I type message. So this is to avoid any miscommunication.
Okay. So now we have another question from Kailing. So he asks, what is the impact in other countries about this digital marketing during the pandemic? Like China, what are they doing in this pandemic time?
Okay. In China, the government have controlled the pandemic very well. Okay. And their lockdown is totally different than our lockdown. Their lockdown means that totally cannot come out. You have to be at home. Okay. And they only deliver your food, downstairs. If you're staying in an apartment, they don't go up to your apartment. They only deliver at the downstairs main entrance. So and China, they have about 900 million online buyers, and you have to lock down the whole country, and they have to use because China have been in the internet for quite some time. Internet, they are very stable. They are doing for 4G, 5G. Not like our country. It's very, very different. And buying online is part of their life already. Okay? The only difference is the volume people buying online is tremendously grow up, and until the manufacturer SME, there some of them do not have stock. Why? Because the factory cannot open. I have no more stock. The factory cannot open, not allowed to open. So those who are storing the thing, they have good, they can release the stock, and their way is the part of their life, and the impact to their there's no much negative impact to their digital marketing during the pandemic. It's increased, tremendous increase, and they got more advantage to promote more online, and it gives them, that's why you can see that they don't affected their GDP, the economy much, because the demand is there, the buyers is there, okay. So, and they're still spending, and only that the government do a lot of way to help them in the pandemic, so they're able to continue with their digital marketing, and people are still supporting the online buying, the online order, so it's not so badly affected. Only the short period affected is during the total lockdown 1 month. So that 1 month they cannot go out, but they allow those delivery riders that allow only. Others they cannot go out, or totally cannot go out to shop. They only totally 100%. You have to order online. That is the effective method they're doing. So the digital marketing in China have been tremendously shoot up during that period.
All right, thank you. So the next question is from Chin K. Rong. So the question is, do you think that the two-way communication between organizations and external relationships is important for digital marketing, and why?
Yeah, of course, the organization and external issue can be covered a lot of people. It can be consumer, okay. It can be organizations also. Organization to organization, it can be government agency. You know, the two-way communication is important because it's, you know, how it reflected to your company, as I mentioned in the presentation, how you reflect to your company reputations, and how the public perceive, you know, against the organizations, whether you tell the true story or not. Okay, as I'm in digital marketing, you know, you have different ways because different industry. If you sell a product, you market a product, okay, in the digital marketing, so it's very different. But if you're not selling product, you're selling news. That is very different. You know, so why it's so important? Because it reflected on the organizations, you know, and the external relationship is the public perceive how the public reacted, you know, and this is very important. You know why? Because if you do not have a proper good two-way communications, you know, then the organization won't sustain long. So all the external relations, whether with the journalists, whether with the consumer, you know, whether with the government agency, that's what we call it external relationship. You know, it's very important. You know, so that we have to maintain the harmonious, you know, communications.
Okay, thank you. Is there any more question? We still have time. Like, you guys can just open your microphone and ask. Yeah, sure, Jen.
Hello, Mr. Vincent, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you, Jinjin.
Okay, so I just want to ask, right, for a person who has like a lot of knowledge in marketing, and you know, sometimes when you buy stuff, you know that company or that brand owner is using some marketing gimmicks to lure you to buy stuff, right? Will you feel like, I know this is a marketing gimmick lah, and then still buy the stuff, and then still buy the item? Like, will you be lured into this kind of marketing gimmicks even though you are a marketer your own self?
Okay, I'm talking about my company first. I don't use that tactic. Okay. Okay. I know a lot of people will use the tactic that you mentioned, you know, and a lot are happening from sellers because they want to have sales, you know, and a lot of it happening in a lot of platform, you know, local platform, not overseas, and that is not good. If you want to have a long-term relationship with your consumer, you know, don't do that. You know, that's why I have a long-term relationship with my consumer, so they will know. Because honesty is very important. Yeah, if you're not honest to sell your product through digital marketing, you know, then sooner or later the consumer, like what Jen now away, you know, oh, now see, I'm now away, you're doing that kind of way, you know, which is not right, you know, which is not so, you know. So if you have to do a digital marketing that attract without cheating, you know, or without betraying, you know, you have to do a digital marketing concept which attract the consumer who honestly want your product, like your service, you know. So I agree what Jinjin said. There are things happening here, but people do these things. They think of short-term goal. They didn't think of long-term goal. They just want to get as much profit as possible. You know, whether you want to continue with buying with me or not, I don't bother. You know, there are people like that. You know.
Okay, so is there any more question?
Mr. Vincent.
Yes.
Since actually we are the committee members and we are also the students, and may I know what is the advice for students who want to pursue digital marketing?
Student to pursue digital marketing.
Yeah.
Okay, firstly, I can tell you that digital marketing are one of the permanent future of a career. It won't go off. You know, and it's different than other job. Like you talk about business admin or business cost management. So there's no clear cut. But in digital marketing, if you enjoy Facebook, if you enjoy Instagram, you like to take video, you like to take photo, you like to show people, how good are you. That is the beginning starting of your characterism in digital marketing. If you have a person who are very quiet, who are very quiet and don't talk much, they are very good in accounts. So in my experience in HR, okay, I will see a lot of graduates, a lot of workers, So want to study a program, you must see a person characterism, behavioral. Okay, if a person is too quiet, you don't reflect much good about the job of digital marketing. If you just digital marketing, you need to think a lot. You need to think a lot, and you do action. You have to be very proactive. If you're not proactive, it's very hard for you to deliver your job. And you have to be. You cannot sit on your chair. Because you have to go up here, go there, go here, take photo. Then think of seniors. And sometimes you see your friend jumping here, jumping there. Hey, this what I can do. I take a product, jump here, jump there. I can promote this product. You have to become very creative. Then you can be a very successful digital marketing. Some people like, but that doesn't mean you like that. You like to learn digital marketing. Do not show that you're able to do digital marketing successfully. A lot of people say, I like to do account, but after they graduated, when they work in a company do account, wow, so stressed one, so many deadline one. How come during my college, they never tell me got deadline, the kind of thing. So a lot of people do not, students like you all do not know the real life, outside there. Let's say for example, how is the life of a digital marketing? You must know the life of a digital marketing before you want to decide whether is this kind of life you want. This is very important.
Okay. I think I get it already. Thank you. Thank you for your answer, Mr. Vincent. And I think there is a last question from our program leader, Miss Lim. Yeah, Ariel, maybe you can.
All right. So there's one more question from our event advisor. So the question is, based on your industry experience, could you share with us whether you think there's a clear cut for public relation and marketing, especially in the digital era? Like, as PR is not limited to only internal communication, when bad news about product or a company goes public and out of control, that's the time usually company engaging PR to handle the public and social media communication.
Yeah, I agree with that. Okay, PR and marketing are two different entities. Okay, there are PR who handle like announcement, launching, okay, news release, okay, media. Okay, if anything goes wrong in the marketing, PR the one who will be try to rectify all the problems, and to give public confidence. So PR job is not easy. You have to find ways, not finding scapegoat. Okay, some people will say in some PR company, you will say that, we find a scapegoat, then can cover already, then the staff resign, case closed. Some people will think that it's totally different. It's in order to maintain your company reputations. Okay, when the internal communication sent out wrongly, whether through marketing or sales, the PR job have to find ways how to rectify the problem. Of course, apology is one way that you have to start with. Okay, and you have to find if you do not have own PR department, then you have to find a PR company. Because PR company will know all the laws of media laws, not the employment law or whatever. They will know all the media laws, Okay, so they will handle how to have a proper announcement, proper wordings, to say, to the public, to control, so that whatever communication that gone out to be bad news, about the product or the company, of course, they will try to cool down the public perception of the bad impression due to the bad news or the bad products. So, of course, you don't expect 100% react positive to it. The most important, you're able to cool down and the public reactions, lessen down those reactions through the social media or through the traditional media. So the PR job is very important, because wherever wrongly done by the digital marketing team, or whether wrongly done by the sales team, or whether wrongly done by the marketing team, PR will be the one, to do the cover up, to rectify all the things, in order to protect the company reputation or the brand competition.
Right, thank you for your answer. One more question from Mr. Kai Ling. So he asks, in your company, will you take PR or marketing as necessary team? Like if there's some severe crisis on cash flow?
Okay, we only use marketing team. If depends on if you want to have a safe cost. Okay, marketing team and PR team very different. Right? Okay, some people they will use marketing team, they will outsource. During the pandemic, many companies will outsource. Even my friend's company, who are selling online. Okay, and the pandemic affect their sales tremendously, and she have no choice. She have to fire 8 staff. Okay, and after she fired 8 staff, then she have to outsource the marketing role to somebody. Okay, she have to do that, because of the pandemic. So your severe crisis will be the pandemic. So it affect the cash flow very badly. And by outsourcing, she able to maintain the company, from losing money. And you talk about PR, okay, when you have PR, engage PR only for 2 reasons. One, if there's a bad news come up, you need a PR to really handle the public crisis. Okay. The second is to disseminate your brand or your messages using PR, because the PR connection with the journalists, with the media are more stronger than the marketing. So PR knows who are the journalists, who are the media people, who are the players, who to connect with, but not the marketing people, not the digital marketing people. It's very different. So the relationship is very, very different as well.
Okay, thank you. Is there any more question to ask? All right, so that is all for the Q&A session. Thank you, Mr. Vincent, for answering the questions. We definitely appreciate your shared inputs and the time you spent with us today. It is now time for our photo session. May I have all the participants to turn your cameras on? Okay, turn on your camera, guys. All right, on the count of 3, we will take a screenshot. Okay, ready? 1, 2, 3, smile. All right, thank you so much, everyone. That is much appreciated. All right, with that, a big thank you to everyone who supported us and joined us throughout the sharing session this morning. You will receive a link for an evaluation form in the chat box now. At the same time, we will also WhatsApp the link for the evaluation form for your next course of action. We appreciate your feedback on this matter. That's all for today, everyone. Special thanks to our guest speaker, Mr. Vincent Chong, for sparing his precious time in sharing his valuable insight and perspectives during this sharing session. Besides, we also like to thank the organizing committee for the continuous support and commitment to make this event a success. And on behalf of the organizing committee, once again, thank you for all joining us today. And we look forward to organizing another sharing session in the future. Have a nice day ahead, everyone. Bye-bye.
Thank you everyone for joining us today. Bye bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye,
Thank you for your
everyone.
time. Bye-bye.
Bye. Bye-bye.